So we've got this awesome dad here, Steven, and we got us two
where?
that are okay dads. But
Right here,
so
see?
council dads.
Civilian on
question.
base.
Here's it. Council of Dads, what do you think about an alternative to spanking? And this is from Joe, I do believe.
Yeah, I put it in there.
First
a week
time
or two
listener,
back.
long time host, Joe Ard.
Yeah,
Are we talking about like what's the alternative spank? Put them in the stacks.
Put in the stocks. You lost
stocks,
their head.
yeah.
Yeah. Put him in the chokey from Matilda.
Yeah, verbal humiliation. What are we going for here?
He put down a punishment brainstorm. Well, okay, I love.
Okay.
No. I want to go the other way, not verbal humiliation. It's like, okay, you're in trouble. You got to do a 2-minute set about why you're in trouble and make me laugh. And if you don't laugh, I'm gonna heckle the crap out of you.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I like that.
Yeah, so a lot of people have issues when it comes to spanking. I'm not commenting on anyone who decides that that's the form of punishment that they take, as long as it doesn't turn into actual abuse. But I was just wondering what other people do, and then I thought I'd also mention some of the things that we do at my house as well. So like for instance, we make them run stairs sometimes when they're acting out. So yeah, like, oh, you just smacked your brother, go run the stairs up and down 5 times or something like that. And so that's one of the things we do. Another thing that we've been known to do quite regularly is whatever they're currently into as far as electronics, usually video games, we'd be like, okay, you don't get to play that for a day, 2 week, whatever, depending on what they did. That way it's not a static thing, it's dynamic. It also doesn't take away all of their video game options, which some people are going to say that's too soft, which, is what it is. But at the same time, with me working and my wife working from home, they need a distraction. And I really wish it was books or something else, but
Twinkie on a string.
In reality, it's not.
We tie a string to the ceiling fan
cup.
land. Yeah, you put a Twinkie, tie it to the Twinkie, tie it to the ceiling fan, let it, but it's still, no matter how hard they try, it's still a little too high to catch. Hours of fun. Only
if you take videos of them getting smacked in the face with the Twinkie. It's
you
just small enough to hit them in the forehead.
You put 4 ring cameras around the room so you get all the angles.
Bullet time.
Yeah, it's not low enough for them to get it in their mouth, but just low enough to smack them in the face.
Welcome to Little Debbie Dome.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Okay, Steven, what's some alternatives to spankaroonies?
I feel so unqualified for this question. So okay,
you just go. Your mom's so disappointed.
Yeah.
Wait till she gets home from work. You'll deal with her.
Yeah, you wait till later. No, okay. So I have one child, which by itself eliminates a lot of family drama, because just having one child means there's no sibling fights all the time, right? So I already don't have to deal with that. And then I had a kid who's a lot like me in that we just want to do the right thing and not break the rules. And that is how he is. So our experience with actual punishment is not very strong. He's a pretty good kid altogether.
That's good, man.
It's great. It just means that I don't have a lot of experience with like real punishment. Well, we'll tell you what we do.
But you've had to do something, right?
Yeah. Anytime there is like some friction and we've got to figure out like what's going on, we've always been kind of talk it out parents. Like we sit down and we express, okay. We did that parent thing where that's kind of new, talking to your children, helping them understand their feelings. So like even when he was little, we would sit down and we would say, hey man, you seem like you're getting a little elevated. What's going on? What are you feeling? You angry? You tired? You hungry? Kind of help him explore that stuff. And 9 times out of 10, tantrums would really like just relax almost immediately. Like, cause I would sit down on the floor with him. Like I wouldn't talk, like stand above him. Sit down on the floor and be like, hey man, what's the deal? And he's kind of always been wise beyond his years, so it makes it a little bit easier. But we've always felt like doing that was the first goal, and then immediate consequence was always the like natural immediate consequence. Like, we're going to deal with it now, rather than being like, you're grounded for a week. We're just like my wife and I don't believe in grounding. We just don't do it. I'm not saying other people can't, much like Joe's comment earlier. It's just not for us. So we're just like, we're going to talk out what happened, why it happened, what we're doing to fix it, and then move on from it. We do a root cause analysis with our child.
Well, and different kids react differently to punishments.
Exactly.
One punishment doesn't fit all, period.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sam carries a lot of shame when he does something wrong. So I don't want him to like wallow around in it. I want him to deal with it, as figure out it's okay. We're going to move on. He doesn't want to do the wrong thing. And when he does, he feels real bad about it. And I was that kid. And if you don't like make sure they know they're okay, it's something they're going to walk around with for days. Like, I can't believe I messed up.
If you did want him to be moody and guilty, you shouldn't have named him Sammy after the Winchesters. You always go with Dean when you want a strong boy.
That was a mistake.
Joe, you put it here. Generally, my kids are well behaved. When they're apart, it's when they're together they go crazy. And what's interesting is it's not exponential. So,
yes, it is.
Cats, no, I don't know. The crazy is exponential, but no, not the behavior. When you only had 2 children. That was true. When they're apart, they're just a different vibe, different energy. And then they're together. It's like, you have 3 now. I don't know about you, but when I have 4, you want 2, 3, 4. Even if 1 out of the 4 is gone, totally different vibe, a whole lot less drama. It's not like you got to get it down to 1 kid by themselves or 2. So I mean, it's not exponential. It is definitely, you just remove 1 person out of the mix of 6 of us, and it's just different. So yeah, but yeah, the crazy when everybody gets on board, it's like, oh my. But see, that's why you got to plan it. Have set 1 and set 2, and there's enough gap in between the 2 that the crazy for set 1 won't really get to set 2 and vice versa, because they're just
it's a different kind of crazy for each age group.
Yeah,
that's a good strategy.
So you said it, Joe. Every kid is different, and I've had to figure out what they love so I can destroy it. Okay, I said it exaggerated, but no, in all seriousness, what the good discipline is, you take away. You have to. What was hard about Oakland being my first, he just didn't care about it. He still doesn't. He still doesn't care about anything. I'm gonna take this way. Okay. I mean, might get mad a little bit, but I'll just say, well, whatever, man. So it was really hard with him. The guilt trips actually worked, and trying to dive in, but it didn't always work. Nothing always works. I even went so far one time. I do not remember what either late 80s or early 90s movie this was, but one of the punishments the school teacher made the ruffians do was, I think it was Louis Gossett Jr. even, was they had to kind of be in a seated position against the wall. So their knees are at a 90, their legs are at a 90 degree angle, and they're pushed up against the wall, and they can't do anything with their arms, and they just sit there. And it's apparently it's an old military discipline. Apparently it's a pretty bad one. So I made my kids do that every once in a while. I just couldn't get through to it. I was like, you go squat on the wall. And I tried to be realistic about it, but I can tell you, early on, I was raised Baptist and all that jazz, and I was spanked when I was a kid, and I thought I'd try it on my kids. It didn't last past set 1, because it did okay on Oakland, but him in the first and having time alone with us, just saying we're disappointing you, those kind of things worked. Crosby, defiant, wouldn't let you see her cry. I was like, and that's why I had to stop spanking and figure out something else, because inside of me, I'm like, oh, I want to make you cry now. I really, and like, whoa, that's a bad thing. But it's that defiance. I was like, I want to see it. But yeah. And actually with her, I've built that relationship where the thing you take away is your approval. So I'm very disappointed in you type of deal. All of them are tough. Ryland, he will just sleep in his bed all day, so I had to take his papa away from him at one point. And he's like, yeah, no, you can't go out with your papa for a week because you're not getting your school done. And which I know hurt his papa's feelings too. But I was like, I've got nothing else. I've taken the Xbox, the tablet, the whatever I can take away from him. Family time. You cannot come sit and watch TV with us. Get out of here, kid. I don't know. And that's hard. The random kid. Go ahead, Joe.
With Papa NASCAR, I always lost my TV time is what he did spank me, but it was more often than not my TV time. But even when I had lost my TV time, if the family was watching a movie together, not only was I allowed to be there, I was obligated to be there, which wasn't always the best, because there were times when I was working on my math homework while sitting there trying to watch a movie. So, but if family time is family time, it was very important to my dad.
I dig it. My family was the opposite. Like if I lost TV time, and of course, you'd rent movies. You wouldn't own movies back then when I was a kid. You'd rent them or whatever, and they would get like these. I remember these Disney collections where it's just a series of different cartoons in there that you get.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Is either a Mickey Mouse collection or yeah. And that was our family time. Like we loved watching those. And I was in trouble. And they had a door that would close to the living room, and I couldn't go in and watch that with them. So I sat there and watched really keenly between the crack of the door. I have developed some skills because of my disciplining. So, hey, Daniel the Dribbler is still playing Pokemon Go. Good for you, Dan. You are too, Joe, aren't you?
No.
Okay, never mind, Dan. I'm so sorry. I tried there. But good to hear from you, Dan. Thank you for popping in. I'm assuming you used to listen to Pokemon Go and appreciate you. Random Kid says, if you spank, don't spank in anger. But guys, don't you think that's the hardest thing? Because you're angry at yourself for not even teaching them better or something. You're angry at them for messing up. For me, I get fearful of what this could mean in the future if they keep going down this path. So I don't know how to not discipline in anger, because I got these levels of anger. What about you, Steven?
When it gets like, usually it's when he's hungry, with the halt, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, like any of those situations, he can get really defiant. And I've pulled my dad's old trick of, especially if it's close to the holidays, I'm canceling Christmas. Santa's not coming. Like that. I've done that plenty of times, and it's stupid. I'm not going to cancel Christmas, but that's my what I view as my peak anger. It's just like, I'm gonna, but my wife's usually there if I really am getting angry. She's just like, you go to another room. I've got it. Relax. That helps a lot.
And sometimes that's what you need to do if you've got a spouse, is just trade off, because that you're angry. Yeah. You mentioned Christmas. It makes me think of the posts that always pop up where they say, wrap empty boxes, and when they misbehave, toss it in the fire.
That I would dare say that is more psychologically and emotionally scarring than spanking. I still don't recommend spanking personally, but yeah.
We don't want to spank our kids. We want to emotionally abuse them.
Yeah, that's just mean.
Oh, man.
Now, don't you live for that moment when you see something take effect and you're talking about how, yes, you were asking how were you feeling? Are you tired? Are you angry? We didn't quite go that route with my youngest, but we found a correlation between her complaining her legs hurt, and she's the only kid that ever did that. At first we thought it was medical. We realized that's just her stress coming out, like she's exhausted, her legs start hurting, and she can get really hangry. And we started keeping candy bars and food around for when she got exhausted, and portable snacks. And that moment where your parenting is working is when she was like, I'm just hangry. I'm sorry,
dude.
And she went and got food, like, ooh, get that fruit snack. You do it. And then
the self-realization.
And she was like, I don't know, younger than she is today. I'm bad at the ages. But she's 11 now. It is at least 4 years ago, if not more. So like, there we go. That realization. I'm just hangry. Like, man. Then I have the threat you don't have, Steven, is I had 2 sets for a reason. To start over from the mistake. So, you can disappear and nobody ever remembers how many kids I have. Just saying.
Dude, you're right about, you feel like you hit like some sort of lottery when your kid just recognizes it. Like you're like, okay, we did good. Because there are a lot of times where Sam has trouble with transitions. So when I want to leave the house or we need to go somewhere, like it's really hard for him to stop what he's doing and do something else with like a lot of lead time. And whenever we do that, it's like right before lunch, He just loses it. He's yelling at me all the way to the truck, you know, and we get in it, we take off, and then I'm like, you know what we need? We need some food. We're going through Wendy's on the way out. And he's like, I don't want Wendy's. And I'm like, we're going to get some chicken nuggets. He'll start eating the nuggets. Daddy, I think I was just hungry. I'm sorry I yelled so much. It's so great. You're just like, I know, me too, buddy. I was hungry too.
Yeah.
It's great.
Roll that dice.
Why he rolls that dice? We taught Oakland as a baby animal sounds, and every once in a while we'd go through a drive-through, and one day from the car seat in the back we heard "Buck buck." I went "Buck buck," and he knew he was getting chicken nuggets.